Made in Italy, are you sure? I think the Chinese disagree. Those half-million-peso Gucci items, how much are the Dolce Gabbana and Armani watches and wallets here? How much are they here in China? Let's see. Let's check out the brands Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Balenciaga, Burberry, Prada, Gucci. I just arrived at the largest designer luxury goods market in the world here in Shanghai, China, and we're going to check out a few things. Is it true that they're 99% off? Is it true that you can find Gucci bags here for the lowest price in the world? Gucci? Let's see. How about it? Just when I thought it wasn't possible for me to look dumber, uglier, and more basic, Gucci comes along and proves me wrong. Thanks, Gucci. Isn't Gucci meant for refined, delicate, and beautiful, successful faces? Not for poor idiots like you, right? No, 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 no. If you think this is tasteful, you're the tasteless idiot. But there's another topic I want to touch on a bit. Are they really worth the money we're spending on them? Remember when the big scandal broke that all the luxury brands from Italian designers were actually made in China and they came from factories where they were manufactured for $10? People from Barbosa bought them for $2,500. Well, here I have the evidence that it's true, they're all made in China and they're not worth what we think they're worth. But after that scandal broke out and they revealed how much they really cost, did people really not care and they didn't lose their value? Well, not really, honestly. The quality of these products deserves the price they've been given. And why do we live in a society where people who use luxury brands appear more successful? Why are there so many people who feel the need to cover themselves in Gucci and Dolce Gabbana to feel better? We give a higher status to those who use them. But before we look at those questions, let's see what items are inside here. Come on, they don't let you in with drinks, but you can leave it here, no one will touch it there. Someone left their Starbucks and they give you complimentary water so you aren't dehydrated. You must download their app before entering. They don't have price tags, you have to scan the logo of each item to see the price and you have to put on gloves. Here it is, otherwise you can't enter and must leave your backpacks and belongings in the provided lockers. On the website, they tell you that the prices are up to 90% cheaper, 80 to 90, but realistically, they're about 50, maybe a third, but not 80, in my opinion. You don't have to scan here and there and it gives you the price, but to save you the time of scanning, I'm telling you all this. It's about 50 to 50 the cheapest compared to the new item in the original store. I mean, if you go to the Coach store and grab this same bag, it's going to cost you at least 50% more than it costs here, at the very least. Some are even cheaper, up to 60 to 70%, but generally we can say that on average it's about 50% cheaper. The website also tells us these are second-hand, that they don't come from a factory, and that's how they can legally sell them to you. That it's not in the official Gucci store. But I suspect, correct me if I'm wrong, I suspect they're not second-hand, because how can they have so many of the same model? I mean, when you have something second-hand, you have one item, you don't have shelves full of them. That's my opinion. It's the same with clothes. Look at men's clothing. If they're second-hand, why are there so many of the same model? Seriously, none of them show any signs of use. All these items come with their certificate of authenticity. Now, some people say that being second-hand devalues it or takes away its added value, which is having chosen it, having bought it, having been the first person. But again, I mean, if it's a product made in a factory in China, do you really think it matters that you were the first one to touch it or take it out of the store? It's not like it's a wife. Again, among the people who buy these products, who want a designer bag, who cares if it has a certificate of authenticity? We know they're made in China and that both the knockoff and original come from the same factory. So who cares about the certificate? Well, it looks like any other bag supermarket. And remember, ladies, it's not hard to find a good sugar daddy. You're just in the wrong country. Come here to China. Look, you don't need any sugar daddy. You can come buy Gucci, Armani bags, whatever you want. For example, these ones, look, because they say Christian Dior, here too, Christian Dior. At any dollar store, you can buy a better hat than these, one that looks less ridiculous. It's like a mix between an umbrella and a waterproof hat. And like what you wear when you go to the circus, so it reflects, sorry for the bad taste. It's not me, you can tell me, oh, are you a tacky poor guy who dresses well cheap? Do you wear Walmart clothes like that? Yes, it's fine. I am. Is this real? Are you impressed? We see a completely normal cap like the ones from factories in China. But it says Gucci and they put this band here that says Gucci and that's it. And there you go, $300. This one doesn't even have lavender. They just put Balenciaga on it. It came from the same factory. They just put Balenciaga here and now it's worth $250. Take it. Well, this model is $500, $500. Oh, imagine being so successful that you build so much reputation with your name that you can come to China. You buy about 100,000 of these for 20 cents each, put Balenciaga or any of the brands you see here on it, and sell it for between $500 and $1,000. And I used to think Trump was a genius when he put such a high value on that red sweatshirt that says, "Make America Great Again." Trump is nothing. Comparison of these people. Look how ugly this cap is, but just because it has this name on it, people are going to pay $100, and these ones are even worse. I mean, if you see someone with a cap like mine, you say, oh, what a poor loser, he must be stingy. But if you see someone wearing this, then you say, wow, I'd really marry him. Come on, girls, honestly, are you going to tell me you're not interested? No, not at all. Someone who wears one like the one I'm wearing, like this, but if someone wears this, you do say, wow, what a man, what taste, how sophisticated, what status. Seriously, girls? This is what's left of the largest designer bag and luxury goods markets in the world. The Chinese government started trying to change China's image and began banning and raiding markets. And what they've realized is that markets have changed and become different kinds of markets. There are still places like this, markets where there's only luxury designer clothing at much lower prices. Let me clarify, these are not knockoffs, they're not copies, because we already know they come from the same factory, but even if they come from the same factory, these have the original designer's label. Who's selling it to you? I'll make a video later about smuggled goods and knockoffs. And the copies that are also out there and the government is also trying to get rid of, but for now let's focus on these, the originals. Look, here are the aisles where everything is under 1,000 yuan, the Chinese currency. There it is, look, Best Buy's under 1,000, which is about $140. Here we have another one, Soriana from Louis Vuitton. Look, out of all the millionaires I know, most of them don't buy this stuff. In fact, it's already been proven that the wealthier a person is, the less they spend on their clothes, and they have fewer items from these so-called luxury designers. But I do know a few people who are doing really well, who earn a lot, and yes, you could say they're millionaires. And yes, they do have one or two of these items, but they're not obsessed with having them and they don't try to make sure everyone sees them. I mean, they don't make sure the letters are so big that everyone can see them. And what I can guarantee you is that they don't buy shirts with these names on them. Louis Vuitton. I've never seen a rich person wearing a shirt that says Louis Vuitton and showing it off to everyone. On social media, they're a bit more discreet, but I think they do buy them. Well, you can see they're not that unique. I mean, when they told me that Louis Vuitton bags cost 200,000 pesos, I said, well, maybe each bag is unique. The designers sat down to make them and created one of each model, but not just one factory copy, one just like the other. Who came up with the idea of giving this so much value? Seriously, guys, let's talk seriously now. At what point? Did they tell you, you know what, Latinos, if you want to look successful, you're going to pay me 200,000 pesos for this? And we said yes, yes, yes. So at what point did we agree to fall for this nonsense? Someone in Italy who has nothing to do with you told you, look, do you want to impress your friends? There it is. Here's 100,000 Mexican pesos, and we said yes. Explain to me, when did this happen? And well, I'm proud of myself for never having taken part in this. Of course, everyone does whatever they want with their money. That's capitalism and the freedom to buy. Do you want to pay 500,000 pesos for one of these? Look ahead. I'll leave the address in the comments so you can come and spend a fortune here. Just a reminder, they come from a factory and there are about 5,000 copies of each one every week. So the bag you paid so much for isn't unique. It doesn't have anything that sets it apart from other bags of the same brand. And no, they're not made in Italy, and you're not supporting any Italian entrepreneur. You're just paying an outrageous amount for no good reason. Sorry, that's my opinion. That's how consumerism works. Just look at the rest of the world. We buy all this because they told us it's made in Italy and that it's a superior brand. Made with superior materials, but it's been leaked that it's actually made in China. Most people didn't care and just said no. I mean, as long as it has the Gucci brand, I'm going to keep buying it, even if it's ugly, even if it doesn't look nice, even if I can't afford it. If it says Gucci, I'll buy it. Well, no, that's everyone's own problem, but here in China too, the Chinese keep buying it and keep paying much more than for other things their own country produces. So, you mean they trick Americans, Latinos, those poor people who want to look rich? Yes, that's fine, but the fact that the Chinese themselves are paying such high prices, even in this discount store, the prices are still high and the Chinese themselves are paying them. The power of consumerism. I'm the only man in this store. I'm already embarrassed to be here. What are the girls who see me going to say? What is this fool doing here? According to these, they're for men. No, look guys, call me old-fashioned, call me homophobic, call me whatever you want. Seriously? A dude wears one of these? I mean, how are they paying 80,000 pesos for this? You'd be better off making a down payment on a car, or if you're spending 500,000 pesos on 3 or 4, put it toward an apartment down payment. Better, right? I don't know what brand this is, but if I saw it on the street, I'd never think it's one of those that cost 20 times more. This cat is horrible. Same here with this one. Seriously, look at this jacket. Gucci. Let me know in the comments who thinks this is a good purchase, that it makes you look like a successful and sophisticated man. Alright ladies, tell me in the comments, are you really attracted to this? A man who wears this just because it's Gucci? They can sell anything, no matter how ugly, and just because it says Gucci, people pay outrageous prices without even expecting it to look good. Here are the Louis Vuitton ones. For those who want to see how many I can take, I'll take as many as I can fit in my suitcase. These are much more similar to each other, like they have the logo theme, the L and the B. I don't know why. Why would you want to wear someone else's letters, someone else's initials on your clothes? Why would you want to advertise someone else's company on your clothes? I'll never understand it, but these are a bit more subtle. For example, these don't have the logo so big. Look, just here. Louis Vuitton isn't so flashy, so to speak. I mean, do you really want to show it off that badly? Look at this item. Look, I'm better than you because I spent more. Well, yeah, let's see here. Bags for men. Let's see how manly they are here. Well, look, it's not that I'm a hater, that I like to criticize, or that I'm envious. These designer guys are all multimillionaires. It's not that I'm jealous. Their money, their income, how easy must it be to have one of these brands and the huge profits you must make? I mean, it's not because of that. I wish all entrepreneurs the best, including these entrepreneurs, but honestly, they're ugly. Maybe there are guys who can actually pull this off, who are tall, handsome, and slim. I don't know about other skin tones, not necessarily white, but maybe some shade of brown that this would actually look good on. But for me, personally, I don't like it. It doesn't attract me, it doesn't catch my attention, and I wouldn't buy it at any price. I mean, is this really for men? Seriously, is this for men? The female friends I have, my cousins, the girls I grew up with, We've talked enough about their tastes in men. We've sat down to talk about what they look for in a man. They wouldn't be interested in a guy carrying one of these. Girls, imagine a guy picks you up for a date carrying one of these. Prada, what's going on with that? Or look at this one, coach. I'd use any of these backpacks, but I'd just rip off this tag that says Gucci, I'd take it off. I think that's way too much, like we say in Chiapas, showing off. I think there's one or two here that are okay. I wouldn't be too embarrassed to carry it, maybe just to put documents in or something. But can I get one that looks exactly the same from another factory here in China, just like this one, for $10? 20 at most. These do look masculine, these I can believe are for men. But again, we have the same issue. Why would I pay $3,000 for them when any other good brand costs me $100 at most? Well, look, call me tacky, low class, with an indigenous face, bad taste, poor guy who can't afford something good. Yeah, call me all that. But for today, I'm not going to buy any of these luxury designer items made in Italy. I think I'm fine just the way I am. Yes, I agree that carrying your wallet and your phone in your pants pockets looks terrible. Look like this, terrible. We need another option, but that option has to be a handbag. But seriously, guys, everyone, guys and girls, really. They see Italian designers as having a very exquisite sense of taste and sophistication superior to the rest of the people. Why do they do this here? The same pairs of slippers you can buy at any store for a few dollars. Do you want to pay $500 for just one? Because they say Christian Dior, the dresses are nice, like the women's dresses. These do look nice. They're feminine, they're elegant. Some of them are nice. Kenzo, Paris. Seriously? Look, if a girl asks me to wear something like this so she can feel that I'm successful, sorry, that girl is not my type. Well, here are these Dior ones, no offense, but they look like the ones they give you at the butcher shop. Do you want to pay to wear someone else's name? Look no further, there it is. Not even my grandma had a prettier one. Do you think this should be worth 40,000 pesos just because it has this Louis Vuitton logo? Excuse me, you're the one with bad taste. Look at this. Everything is made in China, but that one says Rome. Seriously? This one says London, England. I'm sure this one says Milano. They didn't want to mention Shenzhen, China, but look at these designs. Check this out for fans of the brand. Coach, are you really going to tell me that just by wearing this, you already feel better than other people? Look at how many aisles there are. It's all Coach. It's like a whole Chedraui full of just Coach. Let's take another look. I know absolutely nothing about handbags or luxury items. I've never bought one of these items. Call me stingy, bad boyfriend. I've never bought one of these items. If I ever have a relationship with a girl who likes these kinds of things, I tell her, you go and buy it yourself. Tell me how much it was, and I'll transfer you the money. I'm not going to be here picking one that's not going to be the right one, the one she's not going to like. Even better, I'll give you a gift card, what they call a gift card. I'll give it to you with an unspecified amount, just blank. You just go and buy what you want. And let the store send me the bill. I'm not going to be here like a fool looking for Burberry. It's all the same anyway. Look, it's like a supermarket, like a Walmart full of all this stuff, and here we have the same thing. I mean, if they're secondhand, how can they have so many and they look new? They don't look used. When an item is used, you see signs of that use on these parts, the handles, but here they don't look used at all. That's why it makes me think that it's not really a second-hand market, but more like an outlet. But since they have an agreement with these brands, the law prohibits selling them in any store that's not their official one, so they disguise them under the second-hand label. So they can get around that law and sell to you here. These bags somehow get them directly from the factory because the factories are here in China. Could they have some kind of contact over there? So they can say, hey, send me about 100 of those little bags out of the 1,000 your factory made today, and that's how they do business. That's what I think, because all these products are made in China, so to a certain extent, do the Chinese have jurisdiction over where they end up? And if they're made? With the condition that they're all going to be sent to Italy, that's fine, but don't tell me that not even one is going to end up in one of these markets. I'm going to see if I can find an item that actually looks used, where you can say, okay, this one really shows signs of use, but for me to actually see it. They even smell like the factory.